Yes, yes, it's something very easy. Yeah, all of us, of course, we know what regression analysis is, eh? Yeah, I'm so sure from we know the formula of getting B. And the we shall overcome. How about now? Am I okay? It's better now. Okay, great. So great. So then, if you're given this kind of a question, Mr. Rajab Omar is the marketing manager of Tintex Limited. He gathered data on the number of salespeople engaged in a month and the sales made in the last 10 months of the year. So, my good students, what are we able to see here? Great stuff. Great stuff that you're able to see here. Great stuff that you're able to see here. So you can see we have number of salespeople engaged vis-a-vis what here, the sales in shillings thousands. So they want us to estimate the total sales function using ordinary least squares method. Remember, ordinary least squares method is the same as what here, regression analysis. Predict the sales made in the month of January 2023 when 19 salespeople were engaged. The correlation coefficient, and then they want us to interpret our results, coefficient of determination, and then interpret our results. So then, ladies and gentlemen, what we do in this kind of questions in PDA, it's very, very easy. Once you have opened your regression sheet, come to data. So you click on data, click on data. I hope all of us are able to see this ribbon here. Click on data, and then you look for data analysis. There is this data analysis. If you have a good computer, then automatically you have data analysis with you. So come here, click like that. When you click this data analysis, you are able to get a pop-up window. So this pop-up window, we have ANOVA, analysis of variances, blah, 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 blah. What I want, ladies and gentlemen, is regression analysis. When you walk down here, you will be able to see regression. So you click on regression and then you say, okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, between this number of salespeople engaged and the sales in shillings thousands, which one do you think will be the Y variable? Please talk to me. Between these two, which one do you think will be the Y variable? Will the Y be sales in shillings thousands or number of people pushing? Because if you get it wrong there, yeah, it is sales. Sales in shillings thousands will be my Y variable because number of people, this automatically is a predictor. Yeah, so look at this pop-up. They want me to give them the input Y range. So if you've told me this is the Y, come and put your cursor there on the first number, which is 23, then you say Control Shift. You're holding on to Control Shift together, and then you hit the down arrow to highlight all of them at once. You hit the down arrow to highlight all of them at once. Then see my input X range. So this other one becomes the X range. So I will hit my cursor inside here. Come here on top of here, we say 12 there, then Control Shift, down arrow, like that. I will not read so many other things apart from the output. Where do I want this output to be? So what I want to do is to come and hit inside here, output range. First of all, we hit the output range, and then inside here, you can see inside there, and then we hit anywhere on this sheet, anywhere here. Yeah, so where I would want the output to be, I'll be able to come here, click there, and then, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Come and simply say, okay, okay, like that. Now you can see they have given me an output, which is really nice, which is really, really nice, really nice. So I want to repeat this, but before I repeat this, I'm so much aware that there could be some students who have bad computers that do not have that data analytics. I'm 100% sure that you could be having some students who do not have the data analysis tool. Data analysis tool. So I would want to repeat this, ladies and gentlemen. I want to repeat the whole of this. I want to repeat the whole of this from the very beginning. And before I start repeating, I would want, first of all, everybody to be comfortable that they have the question paper. Do they have the question paper, all of us? Let me just cancel this one. Because you see, in BDA, we don't start looking for the value of B and the value of A using those formulas. In BDA, it's Excel doing this thing for us. In BDA, it's Excel doing this thing for us. So let me just, first of all, share the document that I'll be using, because everybody shall be comfortable. Everybody shall be comfortable today. Regression analysis. As always, everybody shall be comfortable in all my classes. Yeah, so I hope you are able to see in the notes section. Yeah, Lincoln, I'll be able to show you how to get it. Lincoln, today I'm catching you to be among those students who have bad computers. Is there any other person who cannot see the data analysis tab? Anybody who can't see the data analysis tab in their computers? Oh, also Rachel, also Francis. Does it mean that they have bad computers? No, 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 no. It is just something that you need to go to your file and then you add. Let me just open my Excel. Everybody should be very happy. So come here. So I'm sharing my screen. I'm sharing my screen. So are you able to see my screen? I suppose so. I suppose all of us can now see my screen. So if you don't have that data analysis, if you don't have this data analysis, you see, like me, when I come to data, because regression is about data analysis. When I come to data, when I click this data here, I can see data analysis tab. If I don't have it, no problem. Go to file. So file, look for options. When you move down here, you'll be able to see options. You'll be able to see options. In mine, I can't see options. So it is under more. Under more. When I click more, I'm able to see account, then options. So all of us, have we been able to see the options? All of us? All of us, have we been able to see the options now? Because it's important, even if you have it there today, it's important for you to know how to install the data analysis in Excel. So once you see the options, please click options. You'll be able to get some other pop-up. So when you get this pop-up, please, on this column, look for add-ins, because you want to add data analysis. You want to add data analysis. So click it. When you click this data analysis, what are you able to see? When I click these add-ins, I mean, I'll be able to see here Excel add-ins. I want to do an Excel add-in. So don't touch this at all. Simply go to go. There is a go there. So once you click go, then ensure that you tick this analysis toolpack. You click the analysis toolpack, check it, and then you say okay. Ensure this is ticked. Check it, and then you say okay. So once you say okay, when you relax a little bit, you'll be able to see data analysis coming here. You'll be able to see analysis section coming there. How I wish I had students who know how to celebrate whenever they get something new. In Excel, in BTA, there'll be a lot of celebrations. You celebrate by dancing. there is an emoji, dancing emoji there. If you're a man, you get that gentleman who is dancing nicely. If you're a lady, you get a lady who's dancing nicely. We need to know how to celebrate our eureka moments. Eureka moments. At least I can see them there. At least I can see them there. Great. Then let's open, as I repeat, because I know that I have to repeat severally. Let's, ladies and gentlemen, open our regression analysis question that we are doing. Let's open. Lorraine, I see you. I see you. The lady in red. Great. Mhm. So then let's open this. Let's open it up. Great. So they've given me data. And in this data, I know that sales is a Y variable. And then this number of sales people is the X. You can open this up very nicely for it to a bit be bigger. You can open this up nicely for you to see what this is all about. Yeah, great. So number of salespeople, etc. So they want me to come up with a regression equation, which is similar to, which is the same as ordinary least squares method. So how do I do this? This thing that I've been able to bring up, this thing called what here? So go to data ribbon, data. Yeah, click data. Click data. Once you click data, now go to data analysis. Great. So once you are at data analysis, we have so many tools you can use to analyze our data. We have the ANOVA two-factor with replication, ANOVA two-factor without replications. We have correlation. I don't want all these. I can easily move this down just a little bit. Not too much, just a little bit until we see regression, because we want to do regression analysis, also known as the method of ordinary least squares. Method of ordinary least squares. Once you make regression to be blue, then straight away come and tab OK. You tab OK. Once you tab OK, ladies and gentlemen, then input Y range. Input Y range. Our Y variable is this one. Come and highlight from 23. You highlight everything from 23 up to there. Then you come to the input X range. Click inside here. And then you go to the X variable. From now, number 12, you take this highlight down up to number 9. Blah, like that. The only other thing that we'll need to work on is the output range. So the output range, so you come here. If you don't want this output to be on the same page, no problem. You can always have a new worksheet. If it's new worksheet, then I just need to come and say, okay. But in most cases, there's no problem. We can even have a new worksheet. Let's have a new worksheet actually. So this new worksheet, just go ahead and say, okay. So when I say, okay, what am I seeing? What am I seeing here? What I'm seeing, ladies and gentlemen, I now have two sheets. Yeah, we have our original sheet, which are the regression information, and then we have sheet 2. Yeah, nice. Very nice. Very nice. So I would want to know whether there is any ninja that has been able to reach where Mwalimu has reached. Please mention there why for yes, Lincoln has been able to reach there. They've been able to get some output. For teachers been able to get some output. Joyce Gedenji, my friend. Wow, okay, great. John Siflin as well. I can see my AMA students here. Vincent Osombi must be a new student. Nevertheless, welcome. I can see Omolo Jr. Great. By any chance, do we have any? Yeah, in an exam, which one do we use? I can see Maggie Waithaka. It's basically upon you. The examiner doesn't care where you will put this information. You can put it on the same table or as a new worksheet. So long as in this case here, you are able to label your worksheets very well. So like now that one will be labeled as regression solution. So when I come here, ladies and gentlemen, so long as you know how to label your sheets very well, no problem. So like now this one here, you can come and right click and then you say rename. So like this is regression output. Regression output. So long as you know how to label your worksheets very well, not a problem. Even the other one can be labeled as a regression what here? Equation. Very, very nicely. You are at home. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in this regression output, number one, they want us to give them the regression equation. So number one, they want us to give them the regression equation. The regression equation. Is there somebody, ladies and gentlemen, who is able to tell me, remember regression equation? Our y should always be equal to a plus boy x. That's how our regression equation looks like, because this was a two variables question. This was a two variables question. If you remember very well, this a is the constant. This is the constant, and then b is the gradient. If you remember very well, these are simple things. B is the gradient, like that. And then don't forget that these two, basically they fall under what we call coefficients. They basically fall under what we call coefficients. So in this table, remember, you'll have ANOVA table, analysis of variances table, and then we have coefficients. So the intercept, remember this constant is the intercept as well. Yeah, constant. So this one here is the intercept, the y-intercept as well. So basically, our A, ladies and gentlemen, our A basically in this case here is 5.44. I'm reading here, intercept. The intercept coefficient 0.729. That is our A. And then our boy is this gradient, the coefficient that comes before x. So we have here our boy. So boy will be 1.43, 1.4346, like that. And then once you have that, and these ninjas want you to write the regression equation, so come and plug the figures here. Our y will be equal to A, following this. So A is 5.440729 plus B, which is 1.43465 x. You have all the marks. And the marks in this case here, crazily, they are a lot. They are crazy marks. They are crazy marks. If you come, ladies and gentlemen, here, estimate the total sales function using the ordinary least squares, just doing that, you have 10 marks. And remember, this is a BDA question. They wanted a sales function. This is a BDA question. You have 10 marks. 10 marks. So then, is there anybody who has a question, my good students? Anybody who has a question? Yeah, already I can see guys are discussing R squared. You guys are brilliant. You guys are brilliant. Yes, you guys are very brilliant. Great. Great. Although we shall not jump the gun, we need to go slowly. So that is question number one. Estimate the total. The next second one is predict the sales made in the month of January 2023 when 19 salespeople were engaged. Very easy, really. So basically their X is 19. So they want to know when X equals 19, when X equals 19, when X equals 19 here, what is the value of Y? What is the value of what here? What is the value of Y? like that. Fortunately, we have an equation, ladies and gentlemen. We'll simply come and say equals here. Yeah, equals here. Already we have an equation. Equals here. We know the value of A is here. Yeah, then we say plus this value of B. Yeah, we say times. I haven't written 19 anywhere down, so I can simply come and copy it like that. So don't forget that this is in shillings what year, this is in shillings thousands. You can either multiply them or you simply come and say in brackets, this is in shillings what year, thousands. There's nobody who can penalize you. So number 2 over question 2, in this case here, this is okay. Question number 2, that is enough. Question number 2, in terms of prediction, you have your 2 marks. You move on to other things. You know, BDA, what you need first of all is to love systems, to love this Excel. And fortunately, all of you here were my Excel students, and the students who never did Excel in December, we shall be able to talk by the side. We shall be able to get into that yellow tent and talk about how do you improve on your Excel skills. Because without being very good in Excel, you shall for sure get so many troubles as we progress. But that should be able to discuss. So that is regression output. We go back to sheet number 1 here. They want us to give them the correlation coefficient, and then we interpret our results. So you can see multiple R. Yeah, so correlation coefficient. Correlation coefficient. Aha, this is great. So this is our multiple R. These are multiple R. Great. Which in this case, ladies and gentlemen, we are seeing to be equal to what? 910. I don't know whether you are able to hear Mwalimu. I don't know whether you are able to hear Mwalimu. So this is approximately 91.10 or 1 or 111, 91.11%. Doesn't matter really. 91.1%. So is this very, very good? Yes. It means, ladies and gentlemen, that there is a very strong bond between sales and a number of salespeople. So this means that there is a very strong bond between sales generated and the number of salesmen. Number of salesmen. So this means that there is a very strong bond between sales generated and the number of salesmen. So basically, what you're telling these people is that, hey, you want to decrease your revenues to billions, employ more people, employ more people. 91.1% is a very strong bond between X and Y. That's a very, very strong bond between X and Y. Because remember, the very highest that you can ever get, in this case here, is what here is 100%. Yeah, I can also come and add that the bond is what here? The bond is, or rather the relationship is positive. The relationship is positive. The relationship is positive. Very, very important. The relationship is positive. So positive means what here? That as the number of salespeople increase, the sales is increasing. The sales is increasing. So this is really good. And then at the end of the day, you are able to advise what here? You are able to advise that the more the salespeople, the more the sales you are going to generate. But again, as I'll be teaching you this, like I taught you in advanced management accounting, a positive R does not always mean nice things, especially under investments. If you have two securities, like shares of Safaricom and shares of EABL, being highly positively correlated, it means that those are not the very best of shares to buy. Do you know why? Because, I mean, then you will not be diversifying. If you buy shares that are identical, that when one is doing very well, the other one is also doing very well, then it means that, I mean, you are not cushioned. You'd want a situation where if it is in investments, you'll be buying shares that are negatively correlated. When one is up there, then the other one is down. Negative relationship is what works very well whenever it comes to investments. And I'm going to see these questions in BDA. Because if, for example, we have a positive, perfect relationship, like R is 100%, meaning that one security is the mirror image of the other security. When one is up there, the other one is as well up there. That means when all of them will be down, you will not be having anywhere to fall back to, nowhere. So like in terms of investments, ladies and gentlemen, then we shall be recommending investments which are negatively related. Even in marriages, ladies and gentlemen, you can never, not unless, I mean, things are very, very different. The moment I spot you around working with somebody and then you are holding hands, you're trying to show the whole world that this is a perfect relationship. When you are in a function, you are calling your madam there, madam, what do we eat in the morning for breakfast? And then this one is cat walking in church. Say, those things never, ever end up well. We need some kind of frictions at times. That is what makes marriage to be what? Yeah, to be good. Yeah, and these Gen Zs, I normally even see them on Facebook. These Gen Zs are very, very good. Unaona ameandika tu, ati mnafanya fanya hivyo, ati mtaachana tu. Mtaachana tu. Na ni ukweli ukifuata after some time, ala, unashangaa kwani walikuwa wachawi. Ama walijuaje? It's because, ladies and gentlemen, we don't expect perfectionism. Yeah, we need to, in this case here, be a little bit different and be real. Be real. Because when we have, in this case here, those kind of catwalkings and whatever, there is one of you who is not genuine. There is one of you who is not genuine. But we're not here to talk about Gachagua and Ruto. Yeah, when they began, the chemistry was so, so strong. Where are they today? International water is and again, these are politicians who they can easily work again in the future, as our life is. Yes. It is our differences that will unite us. And so long as we have got what we call a thick skin, thick skin, then that works very well. But in terms of, for example, like, we have, for example, advertising and sales. You can't tell me that you expect advertising and sales to be negatively related. You expect the two to be positively related, and you as a management accountant, you will be telling companies to advertise even more, because the more they advertise, the more the sales. All right. But if it is in terms of, as I'll be training you later on, like somebody tells you that Mr. So-and-so wants to acquire a portfolio of shares. They're given prices of shares of X, price of shares of Y. If you get R to be 0.9, positive, anything positive you say, these are not very good securities to be combined. Securities to be combined and a portfolio management will be those securities that are negatively related for purposes of what here? Diversification, for purpose of diversification. Bad example, like those men who believe in polygamy. If you're polygamous and then you realize that your wives are really tight like this, yeah, the relationship between them is positive. You should be very worried, isn't it? You should be very, very worried. Otherwise, when one and the other one cannot see eye to eye, the better for you. The relationship between them should be what here? Should be negative. Although we shall be talking about that later. And I can't recommend polygamy to anybody. Yeah. Polygamy is for very, very rich people. For us, the common people, no. Yeah, we shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the very last part for tonight. Remember, tonight is not the day to read quite a lot. No, the levels of anxiety are up there. So they want us to give them the coefficient of determination, and then we interpret our results. So coefficient of determination, I'll be showing you, there will always be two, There will always be two. These coefficient of determinations, they'll always be two. And which one shall we always be working with? So remember, coefficient of determination is r squared. R squared. But you see, we have two r squared. We have two r squared. Yeah, we have r squared, this one here, which is normal one, which is always higher. And then we have the adjusted r square, which will be always lower, smaller. So for our interpretations, we shall always work with the adjusted r squared. Whenever we're told to interpret coefficient of determination, always work with adjusted r squared, which is 80.86%. 80.86%. Yeah, 80.86%. So then how do I interpret this, my good students? So whenever it comes to r squared, what we also call the coefficient of determination, it gives us what we call explained variance proportion. So whenever it comes to r squared, what we also call the coefficient of determination, it gives us, yeah, there's an overlap here, sorry for that. So it gives us what we call, explained variance proportion. So what we call explained variance proportion, what do you mean with this, Mwalimu? I have two variables. I have y and x. So x is able to account for 80%. There's a ninja who is writing my screen. I forgive them in advance. Why? Because we have just said here that we don't expect perfectionism, isn't it? One must be doing things like that. Another one is straight. Yeah, but at the end of the day, we must coexist. So this will really make my class very nice. Great. So please listen and listen and listen to me very well. It means, this one here, what does it mean? It means that x is able to account for 80% changes in y. 80%, that 80 point something, 80% changes in y. So the model itself can account for 80% of changes in y. That is still very good. Excellent. So it basically means, ladies and gentlemen, that what we have outside, yeah, the other variables that are outside there which are able to affect y can only account for 20%, which is immaterial. Now please listen. We have demand. We know that demand is a function of price. It is a function of consumers' incomes. So if I regress demand and price, get r squared of 80%, it means that price is able to account for 80% of demand, meaning that incomes and other factors can only account for 20%. So I repeat, and I would want to repeat as I write. Ladies and gentlemen, I would want to repeat as I write, because writing here is very, very important. Although what I should also be doing is to write this in your chat area so that you can pick this from your chat area. It'll be better that way. You're going to be picking this and then you paste it wherever. So what are we saying, my good students? So we are saying here that the higher the R squared, the better the regression model is. So anytime we talk about R squared, the higher, the better the regression model is. Like in this particular case, in our case, ladies and gentlemen, our adjusted R squared is 80%. That is a very high R squared. So in our case, ladies and gentlemen, our adjusted R squared is 80%, which is a very, very high R squared, meaning that this model, so this means that this model is good for prediction purposes. It means that this model is good for prediction purposes. 80% is really, really good. Really, 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 really good. Even yourself, when you were in high school, I'm so sure you guys, for you to come and do CPA here, you used to get 70, 80, 90. Anytime you got 80%, of course, your teacher used to write excellent there. All right, excellent. Although we shall be coming to these interpretations, much detailed interpretations later. For today, I just wanted to take this opportunity to inform you that tomorrow things are happening. We shall be getting our results tomorrow. And as your principal, I will be very, very happy, ladies and gentlemen, knowing that you will be passing high time. That's what I know. And I hope you remember, especially the AMA students, I hope you remember my gift. I hope you remember my gift. Once you get a pass like this, big M-Pesa. Because when I was teaching, you were a little bit afraid. I told you will pass all of you. Exams will be very easy. And you promised Mwalimu. When we pass, big M-Pesa tomorrow. So big M-Pesa, I want to go and build up something. Yeah, we'll be pushing Mwalimu. Not FM. This was a discussion in AMA. We can invite AFM later, but it was a discussion in AMA. Even for my birthday, these guys gave me a very good gift. For my birthday, they gave me a very big gift. Javan is wishing that the option of SMS works. No, just be keen. Around from 2 to 3 p.m. Be keen. We shall be able to do what here to get our results. So BDA is 9,000 Kenya shillings. 9,000 Kenya shillings. You can pay this in 2 installments. All right. And then remember, especially after results, we normally do how many classes of BDA every week? 4. 4 BDA classes every week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then the other day, we shall give you a link to your own Zoom. This one, we normally provide a link. It's called BDA link. So that now the other days, I want to see Lincoln taking up leadership of BDA discussion. One day, another student, another day, like that. Because BDA, ladies and gentlemen, this paper can either be very easy for you or it can kill you. Especially if you don't pass it round 1, it will become a very, very big problem. So you must really leave out most of the other things that you normally do whenever you're free. Like this semester, if you're doing BDA, there is no partying out. This semester for the next 3 months, you shall be mine here faithfully, either with Mwalimu here in class or discussing with other students throughout all weekends, etc. Because you see, group consolidation, group cash flows, incomplete records, published accounts, all that, ladies and gentlemen, plus the WACC in FM, portfolio questions in FM, all those things now you're going to be doing a solution on them in Excel. So then you must be able to type very fast, the way I'm typing, or even better than me. And that can only happen if you start practicing very, very early, if you start doing 7 classes a week. Don't think that because now we are doing BDA, that this is now a place to relax because it's only 1 paper. Oh, this is disastrous. If you ask any students who have been here, who have done BDA before, they will tell you this is a space to watch. Crazy. Audit schedules. You're given a trial balance, blah, 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 blah. From this trial balance with about 100 lines, debits, credits, come here and give us final accounts. Trial balance, trial balance, give us an income statement, give us statement of changes in equity, give us this and this. It's crazy. All the subjects in advanced level. The only paper you won't get here at all is leadership and management. That is the only paper you won't get here at all. But you'll get a whole question on taxation. You'll get a whole question on AFR, financial reporting, financial management, AFM. Yeah, it's a crazy, crazy, but nice paper if you're willing to commit time to it. Yeah, if you're willing to commit time to it, it's a very, very good thing. So you need to give your own children notice. Tell your own children if you have booked them into some football. Yeah, into some football academy that you have to be taking them every Saturday. Tell them all those things will be coming in May. From now to April, you're married to RCM full time. Full time. So if you would want to join RCM for your classes, our number is 0793 555 000. So classes with the teacher will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then now you're going to, unlike the other subjects, the subjects like AMA, even AFM, I used to see you guys discussing, but that discussion is too little. That's all discussion for BDA. BDA, I expect to see students in this case here discussing from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We shall have discussions at night. We shall have some discussions happening like on Saturday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., different groups. And the more the groups you join, the better. We shall be having other groups doing discussions on Sundays because really BD is a practical paper. It's not about just Mwalimu teaching and then you get with it. It's about you doing more than me. It's about you doing more than myself. That is why we procure a dedicated PDA discussion Zoom link. Yeah, and in that Zoom link, you're not going to become a passive learner. You shall be an active learner. When I come in, it will not be just like Rachel Gitere teaching people throughout. No. Rachel Gitere will come, do her question, move out. Somebody takes over stewardship, does a different question like that. And then, of course, I expect the other students to be criticizing. You must critique, what if we did this way? That is wrong. We must be very, very active learners. Yeah. And then remember the game changer, which students have never known, it is in the mocks. Those mocks. Of course, results will be released tomorrow, but students, for example, did our mocks, like AMA mock. Yeah. We are not examiners, but of course, you must have seen some kind of 1 or 2 questions. Because we can't give you 2 mocks, honestly, with 10 questions, and then we don't get it right in 2 questions. No. At the same time, same case, for BDA, you must do the you do them yourselves, and then you get into class where we discuss them. So this will be about you. Ensure you acquire a good laptop. Yeah, from the very, very beginning. Ensure you acquire Excel from 2021. Yeah. And then everything will be about typing. Yeah. I expect when I teach, even myself, criticism will not be when only you have your fellow colleagues teaching. No, you shall critique my work. Tell me, Mwalimu, why are you increasing that by 10%? And yet the examiner said, while we are discussing like that, I learn. You learn better. Everybody wins. This, I'm telling you, I'm so sure. There must be a ninja that I've taught here from the lower levels. Financial accounting, I may have taught you management accounting. I may have taught you financial management, advanced financial, and you have never spoken to me at all. You've never given me a figure at all. You are a passive learner, but fortunately you passed throughout. If you're going to be a passive learner in BD as well, that I can assure you, you'll repeat this paper not 4 times, 5 times and more. because this paper is for the students who keep on talking. Even if you're talking lies and lies, so long as you're talking and talking, you get to pass it in round one. 75% of the students pass in round one, but the 25% who don't pass in round one, they struggle. Like just yesterday, somebody was telling me, Mwalimu, I began this BDA from the very first time it was introduced. Up to date, I've never passed, and I've never skipped any sitting. Every sitting, this great ninja lady is doing this exam, failing and failing and failing and failing. Time management in exams is something I'll be talking about later. Yeah, because this BDA in your exam, by the time the examiner is saying 20 minutes to time, you should close down everything, attach all your files to the system. Otherwise, if you are late by even 1 minute to attach your files to the system upon closure, there is no kind of forgiveness you can ever ask, which will be had by anybody. Once that system closes, and it normally closes on so many students. So many students, actually after BD exams are over, so many calls I get, Mwalimu, I was not able to attach. I was not able to attach. Straight away, that's money lost. School fees lost. CASNEP fees lost. And there are even some centers where you go and then you realize the examiners are telling you that you have been added time. So the invigilator thinks that they are doing you a favor. The time added is hot air. Nothing will happen. Once that thing is started like this, once starts timing, there's nothing like being added time. You, if they add you anytime, tell them, thank you so much. Stay with your extra time. I don't want it. I've already finished. I've attached my thing. Let me go. And they get a cup of cappuccino somewhere. Yeah. And then we'll be able to do very well. So that is it. The new students who are around here, our phone number is 0793 555 000. See you in class. Success in your exams. Good night for today. Bye. Bye. Yeah, we have rehearsals, yes. CASNEB normally has rehearsals, yes. I only teach evening classes. Morning, we have a very good teacher, very good young man. Thank you, bye.